Welcome back everyone. So this is going to be somewhat of a Cyberpunk 2077 Q&A. We're going to talk about different stuff, mostly what you talk about in the comments, because there's a lot of questions, and I think the best answer would be to make a video where I'm going to answer on like 10 comments and 10 questions. So let's start with the first one. Garrick Groover says, what will come out first, Kingdom Hearts 3 or Cyberpunk 2077? I think Half-Life 3. Next question, Wretched Slippage says, based on an Easter egg in the game, I think it'll continue in Cyberpunk. I think Ciri will be the main character, or at least a very important one. He's actually referring to an Easter egg in The Witcher 3 when Ciri is talking to Geralt about all the worlds she was in, and in one world, what happened was she saw people with guns and flying vehicles, and of course it was an Easter egg for Cyberpunk 2077. Now I know that people assume that because of this, Ciri is going to be like a playable character or like a very important character in Cyberpunk, but that thing in The Witcher was just an Easter egg. I mean, most of the games today have a bunch of Easter eggs, but that doesn't mean they're going to be like implemented in the next game, for example in Cyberpunk. So no, Cyberpunk is not connected with the Witcher universe in any way. It was just an Easter egg. Next question, Konrad Pietkevich says, not E3, more like Gamescom, and this is referring to my previous Cyberpunk video where I talked about the chances of Cyberpunk 2077 appearing on E3 this year, and yes, I did say that the chances of Cyberpunk appearing on E3 this year are high, but at the same time I said, okay, if it's not E3, maybe it's something else, like Gamescom, or probably a trailer or something like that until the end of the year. Next comment, and this is my favorite so far, Cyberpunk 2077 has been overtaken now by Titanfall 2. Nobody cares about CP 2077 anymore. Okay. Next question, School of the Wolf says, if I like games like GTA or MGS, will I like Cyberpunk? Well, it really depends from one person to another. And Cyberpunk is going to be an RPG, it's going to be an action RPG, both with deep elements of storytelling, of gameplay, open world and everything. So yes, it does have some elements like GTA or Metal Gear Solid, but again, it just depends from a person to person, gamer to gamer. Maybe you like this, but you will not like this. So you just have to wait and see. The Pope says, only 60 years guys. That's right, Pope, only 60 years. Sage Fox says, it's clearly based on Ghost in the Shell. Well, I wouldn't assume that it's based on Ghost in the Shell, it's mostly based on books, for example, like Neuromancer by William Gibson, and other like things regarding, you know, Cyberpunk universe, mostly novels and books and, you know, the tabletop game that was released long time ago, you know, Cyberpunk 2013 and Cyberpunk 2020, but maybe it's going to, you know, have some elements of Ghost in the Shell, but originally it's not based on Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is based on novels and books as well, so that's kind of a closed circle. Next comment, ElixirXO says, LKM Cyberpunk 2077 got a listing on EB Games and has a to be continued 2017 release date or something like that. So when it comes to these websites telling you information about a release date, it's going to come out then, it's going to come out in this year, don't believe that. There wasn't an official release date from CDPR, so until you see that, don't believe these websites, guys. That's simple as that. Next question by Welty Pepsi, and he says, I want a co-op where everything is exactly the same as the single player, but there are more players. Something like Saints Row 3, so you can progress through the story with friends in the same squad or something. Now, he's actually referring to a multiplayer segment in Cyberpunk, because there is going to be multiplayer in Cyberpunk, but I am not sure in which way. Now, I kinda doubt they're going to go with that old team deathmatch kind of a stuff. They're probably going to be implementing something like a co-op in the game where you're going to actually just go with your friends and do different missions and progress through the story or something like that. Now, next thing they could implement is basically like the Division, where you have a zone where you have other players in it, and it basically becomes from single player to multiplayer. And in that zone, you can go fight other players, collect loot, and just fight other enemies. So maybe something like that, maybe something like an arena. So yes, co-op would be great for Cyberpunk, but are they going to go with that? Maybe in some way, but we would need to wait and see. FiGG says, they're still looking for programmers. Okay, I'll wait 4 years. That's not true really, because usually when you're working on a game, and since you know CDPR has a lot of people working for them, it doesn't mean that they have to pause the development of the game just because they're looking for some more people to work on the game. It's probably because they need more people to finish the game, they can't do it on their own, so that's kinda why. And it doesn't mean, again, that the development of the game is paused, because you have different, you know, groups of people working on different stuff. You have people programming, you have people doing 3D models, people working on missions and that kind of stuff, so you have different groups of people working on different stuff, so no, you won't need to wait. Next question, Woofington says, okay, so I never played Witcher or any other games by Project Red. Do their games usually live up to the hype, or do they have issues at launch, such as performance issues or crashing? Now, you can't develop a game that doesn't have issues, but it really depends from developer to developer how much are they going to work on those issues, because sometimes when new game is released, it has a lot of issues, it's unplayable, it's broken, and of course it gets fixed sometimes, but yes, of course, CDPR Games do have issues at launch, but those are usually minor issues, and yes, they did have that graphical downgrade for The Witcher, and they explained why it was, because people wouldn't be able to run this game if they, you know, left those old graphics, which were so god amazing, they were almost photorealistic. And yes, usually every single game has problems, but it depends from dev to dev how fast are those problems fixed, and are those problems actually game breaking or just minor issues that you know, appear during the gameplay. Next comment by Zagor, and actually read this comic book when I was a kid. I still have the comics in my drawer, it's so good, I love this comic. So this will be gameplay wise one of the most difficult things to implement. Don't have a clue how they'll pull it off. Yes, I do kinda think that gameplay wise this game is going to be hard to pull off, but it's like that usually with every game. But you know, this game is not the first Cyberpunk game, and you do have extensive lore developed by Mike Pondsmith in, you know, Cyberpunk 2013 and Cyberpunk 2020, so they have a lot of material to work with, and he's developing this game with them, so they have all the help they need, and I'm pretty sure that CDPR has amazing people working on it, and that this game, gameplay wise, is going to be epic. ZombieMan34 says, so will Cyberpunk 2077 be like an eagle-eye camera view, or will it be a third person like The Witcher? Now, when he's referring to an eagle-eye camera view, he's probably talking about games like Shadowrun Returns or something like that, but when it comes to Cyberpunk, in a presentation that was released such a long time ago, they said that Cyberpunk is going to be like a mix between first person and third person gameplay, so it really depends of the overall gameplay style, because in Deus Ex you have first person, but once you go into cover it goes to third person. And on the other side you have Fallout 4, which is basically you can switch between first person and third person, it's basically all up to you, so we're probably going to wait and see until they release more info regarding this game, but yes, it's going to be a mixture between first person and third person, like camera view. And the last comment for today comes from John Shepard. So we get to be a Blade Runner in this game. Well, you can imagine Psycho Squad something like a Blade Runner, because Blade Runners are basically people that hunt psychos. if you take too many modifications inside your body, you lose humanity index, and if that goes down, you go on a killing rampage. So they have a special operatives like Blade Runners or Psycho Squads that go and hunt them, so probably something like that. We still need to wait and see what the story is going to be about. So yes, somehow you get to be a Blade Runner in this game. So that's all I have for today. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button and check me out on Twitter. Also, if you have anything to say or you have any questions, just comment down below because I read most of those comments. And that's it, LastKnownMeal signing out. And again, I'm sorry that my voice is like this, but I'm really sick and I hope it's nothing serious. That's it, LastKnownMeal signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.